In the presence of sacred grace, let your heart open and your spirit awaken to eternal truths. Selected 1. You're not imagining it if you're experiencing this strong energy shift at the moment. If people around you start acting strange and frantic, or if you sense this enormous spiritual terror, you can see and know everything, and since they have nowhere else to hide, it's killing them on the inside. What I'm going to tell you will confirm all of your recent intuitions and explain why these people are currently experiencing total spiritual upheaval. That tower went down, and it went down violently. This was no gradual change or chance cosmic event. The top spiritual authorities unanimously decided on this. The verdict has been rendered by the jury. The dark spiritual advisor who has been manipulating your energy has been issued their walking papers, as has their whole gang of henchmen and collaborators. Gather your necessities and leave. The choice has been made. There is no appeals process here, and it was completely fair. I am aware that you have been sensing an increase in energy. Perhaps you didn't get why you felt led to withdraw last week, to spend less time in the spiritual group and simply watch. The entire house of cards was toppling behind the scenes while you were safeguarding your energy. Therefore, there was a reason for that spiritual direction. These same individuals who were conspiring against you now want to tell the truth about gang stalking, want to be your friends, or just want to talk about it. When you truly needed help, where was this energy? This is sheer despair. They are frantically trying to get ahead of the impending storm because they realize their game is done. They fail to realize, however, that it is too late to undo the harm. The secret has been revealed. Now that the tower has collapsed, everyone can see the true nature of the situation. The energy of their exposure charges the atmosphere itself. You sense it. They certainly feel it, and others can sense it. You really need to have a soul in order to control someone else's. It functions similarly to a vital component in the entire process of spiritual warfare. Given your complete lack of soul, how can you possibly manipulate someone else's? That isn't how it operates. They were attempting to employ tools they didn't even have, which is why their attacks on you kept failing. They were manipulative spiritual advisors working in collusion with family members, but they were lacking the most crucial element, a real soul to operate with. The plot was intricate. You've been receiving communication from someone regarding money they owe you. Someone feels caught, and now something concealed, something unseen, is coming to light. They believe that coming clean and telling you what has been happening with this money is their only option. Yellow heart if you feel the divine love. Now is the time to share. Click the Super Thank You button on YouTube to contribute $50 or more and help us spread God's blessings. What you do is being watched and serves as a seed, and in the future it will come back to you a millionfold. Loyalty and support are examples of high vibrational emotional protective energy. Hypersensitivity, insecurity, and paranoia are examples of low vibrational energy. Their self-pitying decision stems from a mindset of, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. These people would actually congregate in a house. Some people even call it the headquarters of spiritual warfare, where they would sit and talk about how they could control your energy, get you to return to toxic situations, and force you to revert to your old habits. This was a well-run organization with a distinct hierarchy, not just a bunch of haters. There was a leader, someone with the talent of gab, someone who craved power and had succeeded in persuading devoted, diligent others to back their perverse agenda. These folks were getting together on a regular basis. They were organized. They had tasks to complete. The minions have finished. These individuals, who were once devoted supporters, who worked diligently behind the scenes, sending out worried messages to frighten you and give you the impression that someone was about to take you down, are no longer taking part in this craziness. Therefore, whomever was in charge of this operation will have to attempt to carry out this work on their own. However, I get the impression that this guy has poor vision. They are functioning from a state of total spiritual blindness. Their third eye is totally closed, and their physical eyes are malfunctioning. Because their entire institution is collapsing beneath them, stability is an issue. Their home is in utter chaos. In the meantime, you are being viewed as the official character in your story, and you didn't have to coerce or control this. You just made the correct decision. You didn't stray from what you knew was right and what your gut told you was right. You were not the type of person who needed to be up to date with trends or follow hype. Making decisions for your own life didn't require anyone's approval. And when I say lead by example, I mean precisely this. Your genuine actions let others understand that they, too, might be the official character in their own story. Without having to listen to those who are spreading false information, they might be the stars of their own program. For this reason, the idea that I can be my own official person is becoming more and more popular. Let me tell you, I am here for this enthusiasm all day long. I can take charge and do my own thing. They were experiencing financial difficulties. Thus, there was an unexpected reversal of riches. During a meeting of some sort, they talked about how their operation was failing and how all of their secrets were being revealed. Everyone is worried because they know secrets that should never be revealed, including the leader and the minions who are departing the group. The fact that none of these minions were receiving enough compensation is another problem. The funds had dried up. It makes one wonder why somebody would maintain secrets for someone who isn't even paying them. And everyone who was involved in this theft is currently under judgment. Every single person who took part in stealing from you, controlling your energy, or attempting to control your life, they are all facing consequences. This is part of what they were talking about in their emergency meetings. We're getting ready to receive judgment. Their entire business is collapsing because the money has stopped pouring. You will soon receive a message or download that will validate all of your suspicions regarding this theft. You will learn about family secrets, how someone set you up in a phony marriage, or how married couples engaged in the practice of paying karmic readers to control spiritual energy. Spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, and most likely physically, these people are in poor health. Because you are acting with high honor, they are disintegrating. This gang took pleasure in watching you be perplexed, vacillating between options, and in a state of uncertainty. Since you've moved past all of that, they're in despair. Most of you were probably never truly caught in that muddle. In any case, before these individuals even intervened, you had already made your choices. People can see right through whatever facade they were putting on. Thus, there's something unhealthy about this relationship, which might be a married pair or a situation with a fake marriage. For individuals who have endured hardships and come out on the other side with wisdom that others cannot see, the Obsidian Inner Order offers a haven. We are aware that some events fall outside the realm of what most people believe is appropriate or feasible to talk about. Every week, real people with genuine faces get together live on Zoom to share their tales without passing judgment. This place can accommodate the experiences you've kept to yourself, the patterns you've observed that others ignore, and the intuitive wisdom you've acquired along the way. We comprehend, not just listen. You can listen to our recorded conversations and remind yourself that your perception is legitimate when you're having trouble understanding your experiences and feel deceived by a society that doesn't accept your truth. Become a member of the Obsidian Inner Order, where your voice is heard and your reality respected. In the description, there is a link. All of these folks are in utter sorrow as a pathway is being made for you. You are going to receive justice and a clear message about the true nature of this thief, who is completely shocked that after all the effort they have put into blocking this avenue, it is now being made available to you. In order to prevent you from having any romantic opportunities, they were also attempting to damage your reputation. They didn't want you to be taken seriously in the romantic sphere or viewed as relationship material. They were paying individuals to manipulate energy, to speak poorly of you, and to harm your reputation, so that if someone inquired about you, they would only hear that you were troublesome. However, none of this was accurate. They may have been attempting to prevent a mature masculine energy from someone who is distant from you. They wanted you to look bad, so they could keep robbing you of your money. Thus, they didn't want you to have any suitors. They required you to seem unstable in order to defend their financial deception, regardless of the story they were telling about you being unfit, needing care, or requiring a fictitious power of attorney. In order to keep another high-vibrational person from being drawn to you and blowing up their entire enterprise, they also wanted you to seem awful. However, their ideas are still being blown up. This mature male has foolish expectations about attaining what he wants, believing that you would eventually cease following your own intuition if he paid enough karmic readers to control the energy. Dove brother and sister, everything done in faith is returned in God's abundance. You can donate $100 using the Super Thank You button and be part of this divine call. If your roots are connected to Him, your fruit will be blessed. The failure of their plan has left this person in a state of despair. This major masculine, this older man, was physically taking care of people, paying their rent, buying them things, and getting them to ignore what he was doing while still working against you. However, you are preparing to get all of your belongings as well as more money to make up for everything you have endured. This person is spiritually finished, so they might as well start choosing burial plots. The fact that this misinformation effort is over devastates them. You can plainly see that they're ruined, yet other people perceive you as safe and innocent. Whatever charade they were putting on behind the scenes has finally come to light, and this person is upset, almost crying. They were able to pay as many people as they want, but it had no bearing on you. You really became more vibrational the more spiritual warfare they threw at you. News is spreading, and you are aware of what is going on with your priestess energy, your intuitive skills, and your keen vision. The fact that knowledge is growing and that others are becoming aware of this person's actual nature may be the topic of their panic meetings. And that's the main idea. Choose for yourself. Don't let the opinions of others dictate your decisions. It should be possible for you to hear facts without forming an opinion of your own. You should be able to exercise discernment, which is the ability to hear what other people have to say, yet still form your own opinions. There's no doubt that their home is in disarray. Even though a large number of people were gathering at someone's house, the earth angels who were meant to protect you were unable to cast love charms on you. They attempted to cast a love spell of some sort, but were unable to get it off the ground. Even those who work for this boss are beginning to recognize that there is a big problem with the entire operation. Therefore, they are being compelled to halt. This isn't anything they planned especially for you. This is the full-time occupation of this karmic reader. They work from 9 to 5. This person is sought after for love spells, energy manipulation, and projecting negativity into the spiritual milieu. People pay for personalized chaos in a drive-thru that resembles a spiritual McDonald's. However, a man who was involved in this operation, an Ice King, has stated honestly that you are a sweetheart. There are two types of abandonment. Either someone is holding on because they have an entity attachment, or the individual simply didn't want to be abandoned. Inside this abode of spiritual battle, this can be one of the minions. Perhaps a certain person feels trapped and unable to move on because they are bound by some sort of karmic contract, or perhaps the karmic reader leader doesn't want that person to leave them. However, someone has been honest about whether they are trapped, if they are bound by this circumstance, or if they still have a karmic lesson to learn before they can separate. This individual has finally acknowledged that you are a darling and that you are seriously protected spiritually, regardless of their circumstances. Now that you've saved yourself, someone wants to defend you. Now that they feel vulnerable and noticed, they want to step in and play Captain Savior. Labor and effort are involved, and they are bound by some sort of labor contract in this circumstance. This person is either associated with entity attachment or is an entity attachment because they signed the dotted line, sold their souls, and offered their services. They are obligated to this work. This individual is unable to break free from their connection. Obsession has a sense of distance and future energy. Even though they may not even reside nearby, this person has been fixated on you for a very long time. Although they are co-workers, this group is not your co-workers. The teams you play for are different. They work with these people. This has been going on for a while. Whoever is in charge of it and their henchmen. There is a stationary residence, a particular spot where they congregate, perhaps even an abandoned building, and they decide who they will target next. These rituals are carried out by a specific individual at a specified location. This individual has been enamored with you for a very long time and is now coming clean about what's actually happening. Or perhaps someone in this group is enamored with this individual and doesn't want them to leave. They are worried since they are the ones being manipulated and they are unable to control you. Someone was in a strange relationship or with a group of people who hired others or went to them with the longest life-filled sob story. This is a sort of twin flame scenario. This individual is just receiving karma. They are attempting to intervene and rescue the day after it has already been saved, whether or not they are being truthful. This individual rushed to this gathering because they were aware that this community and house of individuals had a number of karmic readers under their sway. "I need you to do this," they said as they approached them. "You must say this for me." Now, when they are the ones being influenced, they are worried. "I need you to bring this person back." Here, lust and a relationship are present. Someone is worried because there is a genuine chance of a relationship here, but they intended to keep you in a lusty connection. You are more than simply a physical victory to this individual. There is someone who sees through all the lies they have tried to tell about you, including the claims that you are a drug addict, that you sell yourself, and other fabrications. Because this individual has seen through any illusions or lies that were being projected, you are about to enter a new connection. Your real mate, your kingdom spouse, or your divine counterpart are all heavily involved in whatever manipulation that may have occurred in your romantic life. They were working on this couple from a variety of perspectives, I assure you. They were adamantly opposed to this amazing duo joining forces. Or they may have wanted to keep you apart if you were already together. Thus, there were individuals on both your and their sides. In order to obtain as much knowledge as possible to fabricate the most outrageous tales, they were all exchanging information within this house. They released this energy to influence your thoughts or to make you perceive things the way they want you to. However, this deception is failing, and people are realizing that this individual is just insane and obsessed. Here, actual money was at stake. You would be surprised at the sums of money being tossed around to sabotage your energy alignment, but I'm talking about huge, dumb money. They wanted your desires to coincide with theirs, but they wanted you to do what they wanted rather than what was best for you. What's wrong with this whole situation is that you're using three-dimensional money to control five-dimensional energy. How can you be a part of the spiritual community? You are not a member of the religious community. You continue to function with a three-dimensional awareness. These individuals mistakenly believed they were a part of the spiritual community. In order to disrupt higher-dimensional energy, these three-dimensional entities accept payment in the physical realm. That is really business masquerading as spirituality. It is not spiritual work. This mature masculinity is a symbol of karmic force. We are discussing elderly individuals who have long been stuck in karmic cycles and have been ignoring their spiritual calling, because this individual had the chance to do the right thing, to open their third eye and make a different decision, but instead chose to be influenced by another karmic person. The Most High has had enough. They can now enjoy every result of that decision. They get to enjoy themselves while handling the energy they produced. This individual has been given numerous opportunities to make a different decision. Thus, the time has come for them to sit down. Whatever system of authority was in charge of your life underwent a sea change. This karmic masculinity believed they had power, that they were manipulating you, and that they had total authority over your choices and vitality. However, no one has pulled your strings since you called your energy and power back. You can now make room for a real heavenly masculinity who will genuinely work in your best interests. Since another emperor takes over when the first one lets go, which is precisely the reason they were so frantic to prevent you from dating. The distinction is that a genuine divine male will guide you toward favorable circumstances. A genuine divine masculinity will take care of you, protect you from harm, and prevent you from making bad choices. The manipulative, controlling force that was attempting to take over your life before is entirely different from this. Someone is already incarcerated, or someone is about to go there. It's possible that someone was just detained and placed under arrest. This person feels the need to take charge of the issue because they are afraid of what else you could know. Before you learn more about their behavior, they want to confess everything. They hope it will be less harmful if they inform you directly rather than letting you find out on your own. They wish to stay out of the spotlight. They're hoping for a private discussion to settle this immediately because they don't want it to become known to the public. Glowing star, if you want to witness God's miracles, act now. Contribute $100 or more through Super Thank You on YouTube. Your offering is like a seed that comes back to you when planted. Let His light illuminate your steps. Every donation is an echo in His plan. They're a little late, aren't they? But they want to be honest? They want to confess before they are jailed because they took something from you. You're preparing to get contact regarding this treachery anyhow. So both of them can genuinely remain at home while they try to determine the best moment to come to you with an apology and confession about what was going on and how they were taking money from you. If they haven't noticed, the Heavenly Collective doesn't need to know. These two are attempting to apologize after projecting death and wanting you to be totally out of alignment. However, how can you express regret for wishing to take another person's life? When you want to take someone out because you're jealous, how do you say sorry? No bouquet of flowers or box of chocolates can make up for the desire to hurt someone. When it comes to attempted spiritual murder, there is no apology. They would be better off avoiding the divine collective altogether. Sitting there and dealing with whatever contract they're caught in with their compulsive condition, without worrying about what you're doing, would be incredibly beneficial to them. Due to their worry, these individuals wish to apologize for the numerous deaths and endings they attempted to bring about in your life behind the scenes. They know they were going to bully you, and now they feel totally defeated, which is why they are experiencing severe anxiety, because you are powerful and uphold your integrity. All of these people from your past feel defeated by your High Priestess energy. It is completely absurd of these folks to believe that an apology can make things better. After you say, "All right, we forgive you," what happens next? They are still subject to their karma. They won't be taken under your wing or covered if that's what they're seeking for. The fact that someone witnessed you serves as a witness. This is a representation of all the minions quitting this operation. Everyone who has come to understand what they were truly helping and no longer wishes to serve this energy. Everyone here has seen what this individual has been attempting to do to you. They are all aware of this person's prior behavior, since they all have information about one another. These individuals are blackmailing one another. They're all being watched, and it was evident to all that this individual was making an excessive effort, since you were using high vibrational, untouchable energy, and they were continuously attempting to hit some sort of spiritual jackpot. This was an uphill struggle from the start. They believed they were going to receive your money and this outrageous paycheck. Their dangling carrot was you. They believed that they were just a step away from achieving their goals, but in reality, these folks were far from successful. They now perceive you as being hard to satisfy. They believed they could easily pull you back into toxic conditions, and that this would be an easy win. They're coming to the realization that you're completely different from what they anticipated. They now view you as demanding and difficult, as though you are too difficult to please. They were biased against you from the start, which is why they are now feeling resentful. The encounter was short-lived, a hit and run. This person interacted with a karmic reader, and they believed it would only last a short time. They intended to enter your energetic field through a tantric encounter of some sort. This karmic feminine energy could have been reached by travel. To carry out their spiritual operation against you, they had to go a considerable distance, although it was only meant to be temporary. Since their anxieties are becoming apparent, they are burning evidence and obtaining restraining orders in response to the fraud notice. It's evident to others that these people are coping with severe mental and physical health issues. Restraining orders may be granted because someone in this energy may seek to hurt others physically. Perhaps since they are being forced to halt their business, someone is enraged. A restraining order of some sort is in effect while they erase any proof of this money grab operation, fraud, or theft. The best show in the world has been this one. All of these karmic readers have some sort of health issue, and they are all outright actors. All of the people in this setting are sharing some sort of ailment with one another. Someone was meant to take a lesson, and that's the path to freedom. Perhaps this was meant to be a test scenario, a short-term affair. Perhaps someone was given a lesson and refused to learn it when they came to this karmic reader to request services. They were meant to learn about trying to dominate someone else in the same manner that you learned to step back and let them make their own decisions when it didn't work the first time, the second time, the third time, or the 90th time. This individual should have learned to step back and let others do as they like, but they chose not to. The Most High only permitted this individual to act against you because there was still hope that they might learn the lesson of control and detachment, but they continued to refuse to do so. They now get to die along with all of their henchmen. Through this brief affair, this sex-based labor, this person believed they would be able to obtain anything. This is how they enter other people's energetic fields, project energy, and astral project. In an attempt to influence you spiritually, they would have sex with someone you had had intimate relations with in the hopes that any lingering energy would be transferred to them. However, this was meant to be a short encounter, and the individual repeatedly attempted to enter your energies after you had already cut them out of your life. It's a tower moment for everyone who is on this operation, and the cops are engaged, because these individuals attempted to poison you, drug you, or lead you to get addicted to anything. The authorities are looking into the matter. That was one of the ways they attempted to detach you from your spiritual force and cause you to get out of alignment, because you didn't want them. This individual genuinely intended to hurt you, and those in positions of authority only wanted your spiritual light to be extinguished. They didn't give a damn about how they achieved their objectives. Despite having tainted intents, everyone is suffering the same outcomes. Without free choice, spiritual work is impossible, and everyone must relax. Now that they are aware of what is happening, individuals want to come clean. Someone's soul is guiding them. Instead of listening to the commotion and noise outside, they are following their inner counsel. Instead of listening to what other people think, someone is listening to the flickers of light that are charging up inside of them. Both self-doubt and forgiveness are possible. Someone is skeptical of your forgiveness. Forgiveness is obviously feasible if someone is sincerely trying to mend their soul. However, they must realize that access does not equate to forgiveness. It is possible for someone to accept you for who you are and still forgive you. You can forgive someone while keeping your distance from them if you accept them as the one who attempted to hurt you. It is one thing to forgive. It is quite another to protect. No one, not even the karmic reader, the macho, the minions, or anyone else, is owed protection by this individual. The same rules that apply to everyone else also apply to protection. It will speak for itself if you put leadership before yourself and don't back down. Nobody needs to be persuaded of anything. People observe that you follow your gut and that you're succeeding just by expressing your truth, which encourages others to do the same. You will reach your highest path if you always choose the high road. Take the high road at all times. Don't sit there and argue with folks who are determined to cause trouble. Allow everyone who want to disparage you from here to the other side of the world to do so. Use your instincts and be honest about the situation.